Oh, I see. I'm still figuring out this TikTok studio thing here. All right, let me get my... we're actually streaming on 4 platforms tonight, which is kind of cool. Let me just go share this live. Let's see here. On Facebook. I'm trying to get a few more folks connected on... there, that should be that. But we're on 4 platforms tonight. I think we got this TikTok thing figured out. I think. Fingers crossed. I think my wife's checking right now. YouTube seems to work fairly good. It's pretty consistent, honestly. And then Twitch goes back and forth. It says it's working, and then it says it's not. So I'm not 100% sure. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind just dropping me a... oh, shoot. You know what I need to do? That's going to kill that for a minute. Let's see what that does. Channels. Yeah, OBS doesn't seem to have had a... yeah, it seems to be okay. I had to kill my Wi-Fi, but it seems like it's fine. Twitch is weird. I'm hoping this will work. I had some people ask me if I could stream on Twitch, so we're going to try it. Anyway, so with any luck, we're on four platforms tonight. Just trying to make the content accessible to more folks. Let me get my... what do we usually use? We usually use this document. We'll get that open here. I've got my transcription open for tonight. And then I think the dictionary. That's usually what we're using. Yeah, I think that's our usual lineup. So we'll just give it a minute, let things, let the stream kind of warm up, I guess. Does that make sense? Warm up? I don't know. Welcome, welcome, Toao. Miu tipskansik kahyo. Aya. Oh, new red crow. Tago, teo, mea sinanma. Kistoao kahyo ga asaiga tagotik. Mea sinanma. Yeah. Mananto nia. Aya. Bisk mina aya. Ia apia nota wasap skok. Aya West Kelowna. Itaga wikia kuta. I heard another term for that, a wasapaskok. I can't remember what it is though. I heard Simon Bird say that a couple times, and I can never remember that phrase. There's another word for like across the mountains. But anyway, yeah. So miasin, I got my tea, I got my water. I think I got TikTok and Facebook going. Let's start some transcribing. Oh. Let's just test out the audio here, make sure it's coming through okay.
Hauja, pagendo ewa pahtihat. Kuttaga hauja. No, it's...
oh yeah, it seems like it's working okay. Yeah, so let's get to, let's get to the right story. This one. We're getting so close. I think we're what? Let's go check it out here. 40 some minutes into this. I can't remember where we left off. We are at 46 minutes into this transcription, which is pretty amazing when you think about it.
Kakwe tapas tawa go bagap mi siwiche hagagnis. Namoyo ka mamtonehtama.
Yeah. So we'll start off the same way that we normally do. Let's go back about a minute. So we'll go back to minute 45 just to sort of pick up the context again. And then we'll pick it up from there and we'll work through, see if we can get to, I don't think we'll get to 50 minutes tonight. 4 minutes would be a lot. If we were really kind of motoring, we could probably do it. But I think Usually we're at transcribing at about 30 minutes per minute, I think, roughly.
Kaapniisima miatoma. Osa he na moe o kau te mam toneta. Uia ki koe kau ki kape mahmi e. Maaga o te hegi pntsaha. Mi o watsoen ki te maage toen sito skatoen. E ugo simton ka ki mam te me ka ki mam te me mato haya. O ki te maksoa. E ku ne ka tats e ki wiche hat. E go he skehta wa na moe kats kau ki tam ka ki ta pasta mago me si wichi ta sot. O mi o te me to ne ki wa pahte hata I sino. E ki te mage tai sini mage sa ge hakik. E ku ne ko ki ka ma mo si ki te max si ke wichi hakik. Na mo I o ki ka mi o ya chik. O sam kau ga koe mi ko koma. Ga koe tā pastawa go ba ka mi si wichi hakik ni. Na mo o ka mam to ne tama.
Yeah. All right, let's
Ka hek te bagi no gi go ge.
get the mug in.
Ka hek te bagi no gi go ge.
Get the mug in. No wakoge, I think he said. No magin no wake koge. I think that's what he said.
Ka hek te bagi no gi go ge.
Yeah.
E ka iau ia a chik wichi ko chik ka sito skago chik ka.
A yawa tick, I think he said. A yawa tick.
E ka iau ia a chik wichi ko chik ka sito skago chik ka.
Witsihigo tick. Witsihigo tick.
E ka iau ia a chik wichi ko chik ka sito skago chik ka.
Kikasito skago tick. Sito skago tick. If you're on TikTok, let me know if the audio's coming through fine. We got a new setup tonight we're trying out. Neil says, I had to rejoin on Facebook. It was glitching on TikTok. All right, let me just double check. We've got a new setup on TikTok here. Are you watching the TikTok stream by chance? Can you jump on there and just see if Neil said he had to jump over to Facebook because TikTok was being glitchy. I see there's a few folks on TikTok here. Nat says, I am not having issues with it. So yeah, let me play that one again.
E ka iau ia a chik wichi ko chik ka sito skago chik ka.
Ka yawa tick.
E ka iau ia a chik wichi ko chik ka sito skago chik ka.
Kika. Yeah, Des says too. Motsnista. Miasin. Hi. Neil says, yeah, and it could be lots of things. Honestly, I've been in software for like 25 years and I still don't know how the internet works. Like, I don't know how I know how it works, but I don't know how it actually works well half the time.
Ka mowichi ko chigo mani ta kagi pa matsko. Ka mowichi ko chigo mani ta kagi pa matsko.
We see he go sick.
Ka mowichi ko chigo mani ta kagi pa matsko.
What's that part in the middle there? Omanita something?
Ka mowichi ko chigo mani ta kagi pa matsko.
Neil says, I forgot to smudge my phone. Here, I got some Sweetgrass over here. I'll get a smudge going for you. What's this part saying?
Ka mowichi ko chigo mani ta kagi pa matsko.
Oman, sa Uma, Anna, Ita, I think he's saying. Anita.
Ka mowichi ko chigo mani ta kagi pa matsko.
Kagi pa pim something.
Ka mowichi ko chigo mani ta kagi pa matsko.
Pimatsaho. I think that's what he's saying. Pimatsaho. Pimatsaho. Pimats. Huh. No, I don't know if that's... I don't think that's it. I'm going to spend a minute, see if I can find this word. I'm going to slow it down a tiny bit and listen to it one more time.
Kikap mowi chico chico manita kagi pap matsko.
Pamatsaho. Pamatsaho, it sounds like. Pamatisa. I feel like I should know this word. Pamatsaho. I'll just leave it for now. Des says the way we lived. Yeah, I think I get what it means. Pimatsehut. Oh, it could be. Neil.
Kikap mowi chico chico manita kagi pap matsko.
Yeah, you're right. It's I'm hearing pa, so it's pamatsaho. Yeah, but I'm hearing pammatsaho, not pimmatsaho. But I think it's one of those ones where I think you could probably say it either way. Pammatsaho. There we go. Kagi pap matsaho. Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Eki wa pahte hato ai sinoa.
Wapa dehat. Aisinua.
Igok. Eki se watse ta tegi.
Gisewatsit. Oops. Yeah. Let's make that one a bit longer. Ben would bug me about these. He'd be like, oh, mile-long sections. But, you know, if you ever turn this into a subtitle file or something, you know, your subtitles are never just like one word, right? Actually, by the way, and I should mention that if you're using Transcribe, we just launched a feature this week. If you go to settings, I don't know my hand. Do I have this? Yeah, I do. Here we go. Ghost mode. Yeah. So up here in the settings, if you click on the title, it'll pull up the settings page, and we just added this button for export transcription. And when you do that, then it'll kick out an SRT file, which is technically a subtitles file, but you can toggle on and off what it is that you want to pick. So there's a text export from that now if you're making subtitles. Yeah.
Igok. Eki se watse ta tegi. Mitonegi oskinigit.
Ahte. Can you say that? Ahte. Huh. Let me listen to that again.
Igok. Eki se watse ta tegi. Mitonegi oskinigit.
Ahte. I think it's a false start.
Igok. Eki se watse ta tegi. Mitonegi oskinigit.
Ahte. What is that? I feel like I should know what that is. Am I thinking? Ata is what I'm thinking. But I don't know if that's what he's saying. Ate.
Igok. Eki se watse ta tegi. Mitonegi oskinigit.
Mitone egi uskinigit. Uskinigit. What did I do? Skinny. Oh, that's a noun verb. Oskinigu. Yeah. Eoskinigit. Eoskinigit. Why isn't that? All right, we'll just flag it. That's fine. Yeah, it is ata. That's what I thought. Maybe it's just like a variation. Ate, he says. But it seems like ata. Yeah. Mitane yo skinny git. I'm just gonna flag this one because the spell checker's not picking it up for some reason. So we'll just grab that. Des says the last part means something about the teenagers. So he was incredibly kind, or Iago, sufficiently kind, even though he was just a young person, I guess. Neil says he was so kind for such a young man. Yeah. Yeah, he was so kind. He had showed people. That was that previous block. He had shown people.
Egi wa pahte hato ai sinoa.
He had shown the people that he was sufficiently, that he was kind for such a young person. Neil says, yeah, no, I think when I look here in the, like if I look up Oskinigu, there is a verb version of that doesn't have the ooh. So technically this should still work. This one here, that's what it is. Oskinigut. He is a young person. So I know what you're saying though. I think it's because, actually no, I don't have a theory on that. I had originally thought that too. Oskinigu, Oskinigu, I guess you'd say, but I guess maybe you can say either. Yeah. So, and I just flagged that one because it should be spell checking. It's just not. That's all right. We'll keep going.
Kikihchehta o kwan mista heogo.
Kitseta kwan miste heogo, I'm hearing. Kitseta kwan miste he. Oh, there's an H in there. Kitseta kwan heogo. Yeah. Yeah, Oskinigu is like a, well, and we're specifically talking about the stories about Sweetgrass. In this story, he was 16 when he did this. He performed this feat and brought these horses home to his camp. Oskinigu, Oskaya, young person. Oskinigu, young man. Oskinigsku, a young woman, I guess you'd say.
Kikihchehta o kwan mista heogo.
Kitsetagwan, how do you interpret that? Like highly thought of, esteemed, respected. It was a respected thing. It was very respected, that thing, I guess. I guess you'd say. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to just check in my, we got a new streaming setup tonight, so I'm just trying to, I'm bouncing between a couple of different things here, so bear with me if I pause every once in a while. Tansi Marie. Marie says, high reverence, highly revered. Highly revered. Thank you. It's always nice to hear a fluent speaker's like interpretation of a Cree word. Even though lots of times a fluent speaker might say, you know what, I don't know how to say that, but then when they do, just like I can never find the right choice of words like a fluent speaker. And even if I've heard a fluent speaker interpret something, I can never remember quite the right words, right? It's like, oh, how did they say that? And it's the same thing like Gitsetagwan. Like, I know what that means in the language, but how would you interpret that in this context? It's tricky sometimes.
Euguanan mapiak ki quay, ki spin.
Iguananma ki gwe, or do you say
Euguanan mapiak ki quay, ki spin.
ki gwe, ki spin, ki gwe? I've seen this word. You can write this a few different ways. Ki gwe. I was having a conversation with Bill about this the other day. There's two different. If you go into the older texts, sometimes you'll see this spelled like this, ki gwe. Long E. Let me refresh that. Sometimes Google Docs disagrees. Right to the bottom. Ki gwe. Let's try that again. There we go. Nope, still won't do it. That's all right. You'll just have to pretend there's a long E there. Ki gwe. And then sometimes, and then ki gwai, which is a long A. So these are sort of like something. These are largely the same. Ki gwe, something, a thing, something. If it's paired with another word, it can mean something else also, like nanto ki gwe or something. But then ki gwai is like what? It doesn't have to be a question always. If it's used in the right context, it can just mean what. Ki gwai, ki gwe. Let's make this one a bit longer. Actually, we'll just go this way.
Ai sino he wa pahte hat. Ai sino he wa pahte hat.
He wa pahte hat.
Ai sino ho mekse itatset.
Oma egse. I think I heard.
Ai sino ho mekse itatset.
Itatsit. Sometimes if I hear a word, I'll just spell it out the way I hear it to see if it shows up. Super close. I was hearing, and this is something I think it's not just like specific to Wes, but that that long E and then an I at the beginning of a verb will elongate that I a little bit. Eitatsit. What does that mean? Of such a character. Marie says, that is one thing he exemplified. Yes, and user 119 says a person showed it. Yeah. Marie says also, lots of lagging on my end, must be my connection. We're trying a different format tonight, so I hope it's coming through okay. I'm quite certain it could be because we're streaming a different format. I hope that's not what it is. I've got pretty good internet where I'm here tonight, so yeah. Nat says it's still crystal. I was going to say crystal clear because my English is so good. Crystal clear still on TikTok, says Nat. And is this horizontal format okay for TikTok? I know that makes things a little bit. I thought I saw on TikTok that you could flip your phone and watch it in horizontal, like in widescreen or whatever, landscape. But when I tried it on my phone, I couldn't get it to work. So I'm just going to double check again. It doesn't work for you? And maybe that was a feature of... Oh yeah, so there's... Just going to switch back over. I hope the... I hope the text is readable okay. And when I look on my phone... Oh yeah, if you pinch and zoom, it'll go to... on TikTok on mine, I pinch zoomed and it went wide. It went horizontal. Yeah, which makes it. I'm just looking to see like how readable the text is. So that's not too bad. In vertical format, it's definitely trickier on my phone. But in horizontal format, it doesn't seem too bad. So yeah, we'll just run with this. Yeah, we're just figuring this out together. Nat says, absolutely can go horizontal. All right, we are cooking tonight, cooking with fire. Okay, let's keep going here a bit. We're almost at 47 minutes in this story. There's another story I really want to, the next story we're going to do, we're going to kind of skip a few. So I've been uploading videos. So we did this one about a week and a half ago. I uploaded this one. I actually want to talk about this story for a minute. Mandelbaum Tagayak, which is one of my favorites. And I'd heard this story a couple of times from Wes in English, and I was like, can you tell me that story in the language? I really want to grab it. So I uploaded it a couple of days ago, and it was about, so there's this book. I don't have my books out yet, but there's this book. Let's see if we can find it. Mandelbaum, Plains Cree. It's like the ethnographic something. This one here. An ethnographic historical and comparative studies. So this was done. This would he be an anthropologist? I don't know. Anyway, this Mandelbaum dude showed up. This was 1935 that this happened, and the informant for this was old man Finde. And Finde, I actually have a couple of stories about Mandelbaum from Wes. One is this one. And then there's another one about how, oh, geez, I just lost it. Anyway, he's got a few different stories, but we went out to the site. Let me pull those up because those are really cool. We went out to the site on Sweetgrass where Mandelbaum sat with old man Finde. Now, Finde is Wes's great grandpa. And so Wes has some of these stories. Let me go back to August. I'm just flipping through my photos here. I'll just pull them up one second. See if I can find the right spot. This was after Kevin's camp. And then, yes, here we go. So there's this spot by the river. And we went out there. We drove out there on Sweetgrass to where Mandelbaum and Finde sat under the trees. And for some reason, the photos aren't coming up. But anyway, Mandelbaum went around. Oh, that was the other story. Mandelbaum went around and talked to a bunch of people, trying to get people to talk about, culture and sacred stuff and whatnot. And nobody would talk to him. They were basically all like they didn't want to. One person had said, I don't want to anger the spirits or don't want to say the wrong thing, talking about some of the sacred stuff. And so what they said was, if you really want these stories, go see Finde. He's not afraid of anything. And so that's what happened. So Mandelbaum went and sat with Finde, and that's where this book came from. So Finde was the informant for this book, but this story, this particular story right here, was about how, so one of the things that, yeah, sorry about that, Marie. Thanks for stopping in. Marie, if you're on Facebook, you can find us on Facebook too. The live stream might be better there. So one of the things that Wes talks about all the time is sort of the teaching or the virtue of being able to sit and listen, right? He talks about it all the time. Marie, I'll send you the live stream on, see if I can send it to you on Facebook here. Let me see if I can find you. Anyway, so one of the things he talks about all the time is about the ability to sit and listen and just be still and not to interrupt. Not to interrupt, that's the main thing. And anyway, so Mandelbaum kept interrupting him, and he was talking about what Wes calls them Sasiwak, but they're today known as the Sarsi. and Fine Day was talking about how they live down by the mountains and all of this stuff, but Mandelbaum didn't catch the name, or he didn't know who he was talking about. And anyway, so he kept interrupting him. What was that? What was that? The name of those people down there that you were talking about? Down by the mountains. But by this point, Fine Day was getting sufficiently frustrated with Mandelbaum because he kept interrupting him, and he turned to him and he said, "Atimu tagayak." And I guess Mandelbaum wrote that down in his notes. If you go look in his notes in the archive, I guess he wrote that down, eh? Atimu tagayak. So anyway, Wes told us that story. I'm gonna try and find. There we are. I'm gonna add you, Marie, as a friend, and then here we go. Let's see if I can send the message here. Just trying to bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to get the live to Marie here on Facebook. So 1 second. Tisqua. Yeah. I wonder if I can link directly to the live. Whoop. What was that? Back. Don't need any of that extra sound there. All right. I think we got that sorted out. Okay. Yeah, so that's that one. But the story actually I want to get into next, after we're done this one, is I want to do the story of the Flying Sweat Lodge. Because I think there's good language in all of this, but there's going to be some really good language there. And we've got, I think, 4.5, 5 hours of stories from Wes already up on YouTube, and we're going to be uploading all winter. So if you're not tuned into this channel here, we've got one more session coming up with Wes sometime over the winter here. We're just going to let the snow, let the season kind of kick in. And then we're going to plan this for maybe December or something. We're just going to kind of play it by ear, see when the time seems right, and we'll get together and we'll do one more session. So, okay, let's get back to some transcribing. I just wanted to talk about that for a second. Make sure you're tuned and you're subscribed to the channel. It's called Sweetgrass Stories, a 21st Century Perspective. If you're on TikTok, you can find the link in my bio. If you Google it, it should come up on Cree Literacy Network's site. Sweetgrass Stories, 21st Century Perspective. And yeah, they'll come up right here on Arden's site or on YouTube there. Okay, let's do a little more transcribing here.
Ewanan mamtone kim stagi tek mi seteo kumanagi. Ewanan mamtone kim stagi tek mi seteo kumanagi.
Kimistagi take, I think he said.
Ewanan mamtone kim stagi tek mi seteo kumanagi. Ewanan mamtone kim stagi tek mi seteo kumanagi.
The one thing I find is that the closer we get to the end of the story, the faster Wes starts speaking, and so I really gotta listen. Mamtane, ma mittane. I think I flagged this one before. Ma mittane, mamtane, he says. And I wonder about this one too. Neil, if you're still there, or anyone else who has thoughts on this, I wonder that Eoguananma is that. It makes me wonder if that's. No, it wouldn't be that. It couldn't be. Ananma. Eoguananma. It's like I'm still confused about the usage. Like, is that actually anna or is it ane? Which means something else, right? Ane is like, in fact, I think. Indeed, surely. So maybe that's what. Eoguananma. It's probably that. but I'm not actually sure. I've always been curious about that because I hear it all the time.
E wā nān mam to ne kim stagi tek mi se teo kuma nagi.
Eogo mana, I think he says.
E wā nān mam to ne kim stagi tek mi se teo kuma nagi. Ki ta chihta mok.
Katsita muck. So I always just try and spell it out to see if it shows up. And every once in a while I'm like, oh, interesting. I didn't know that word. Obviously I'm doing this one. Ki. Oh, what did I do there? I don't want the bookmark bar.
Ki ta chihta mok.
Oh, tatsita muck. Not katsita muck. Tatsita muck. Tatsitam. No, I don't know that one either. Yeah, Neil says it's a speech thing, almost like a reduplicative. Yeah, I think so too. Although it's like the way I understand reduplication on a vowel would be I think, or in some cases Wes uses wa a lot, especially if it starts with an O. He'll say waotnam, ewaotnam, ewaotnaman, or something like that. Waotinaman. But usually with a verbs or a word starting with a vowel, reduplication would be like I. Tapscoot's like I would expect this. Iotnum. But with unma, I mean, I've never heard that before, but that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a kind of a anunma. But then also the lengthening.
E wā nān mam to ne kim
Eoguananma. So the fact that second, like in unma, becomes anma, makes me think like there's got to be another vowel there, lengthening that. Ananma. I don't know. Totally speculating. Because I don't actually know. There's a whole bunch of flag there. I'm going to come back to it. The second pass, actually, it's pretty exciting. Second pass is pretty exciting because you go back to the beginning and listen to everything all over again and be like, oh, no, that was wrong. Oh, I missed a word there.
Ki ta chihta mok.
Gita tatsita muck. I don't know that word either. Janelle says it makes sense the way it is. Yeah, I guess so. Just not growing up hearing any of that. Like it's one of those things. It's like, why do you say it that way? And like, I hear it lots. So it does make sense in that way. But also I'm like, why do you say it that way?
Aui ne kwa ki o ki maha kanto mo ta ka mam skuta mo.
Aui negua.
Aui ne kwa ki o ki maha kanto mo ta ka.
Ki o ki ma ganit, I think he said. Ki ma ganit.
Aui ne kwa ki o ki maha kanto mo ta ka mam skuta mo.
Ganuit, I think he says. Ki o ki ma ganuit. Correct me if you're hearing something else.
Aui ne kwa ki o ki maha kanto mo ta ka mam skuta mo.
Mamskutam. One more time.
Aui ne kwa ki o ki maha kanto mo ta ka mam skuta mo.
Mamskutam. I can't make out the ending there.
Aui ne kwa ki o ki maha kanto mo ta ka mam
I'm getting a TikTok something. Live visibility restricted. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because it contains unoriginal or reproduced content. This is in line with TikTok. What? I don't know what that means. I'm unoriginal. That's what TikTok's saying.
Hauine kwa ki o ki maha ka anto mota ka mam skuta mot.
My mom scoot the mat. Mom scoot the. Omuta. I think that's the same thing. Omuta. I just spell them separately so that they'll show up that way.
Hauine kwa ki o ki maha ka anto mota ka mam skuta mot.
That's what I'm hearing. Mom scoot the mot. But I don't. I'm going to flag that and ask Wes about it. Because I think, does Okimahkan have a long A in it? Okimahkan. Yeah, it's a long A. But that's not going to show up. Okimahkanu. No, it should. Oh, did I add an H? Yeah, there's no H there. So that should be fine. Awina. Long A? Or is that just another? There's a bunch of particles in this. Oh, because it's a long I. What am I doing here? Yeah. We'll leave it like that for now. Nat says that's wrong. I think I hope you're talking about the TikTok problem. TikTok has always been a problem. I don't know. As like every single time I try to do. Oh, see, no, it's up there too. Not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results. I don't understand what they want. TikTok wants you to play video games on TikTok. That's literally what they want. They want you to play video games. And that seems like it. That seems like all they want you to do.
Ektamana Egypten tipai Egypten tastau toi hon. Ektamana Egypten tipai Egypten tastau toi hon.
What's that word?
Ektamana Egypten tipai Egypten tastau toi hon.
Tastauit. Oihun. That's what I'm hearing. Bim tastauit. Place something crosswise. But also I'm like back in that place where
Ektamana Egypten tipai Egypten tastau toi hon.
Bim tastauit. Oh, I see. It does stau. It does stau. Neil's saying it does stau. Huh. So Neil, what you're saying is this. What does that mean? Oh, I see. Cornell says, maybe because you pulled up the YouTube while you are live, TikTok thinks it's not original. Could be. Oh, the warning went away. So I'm not too worried about it. I think It's a running commentary on just the sheer amount of effort it takes to stream on TikTok is like it's amazing. It's always interesting when there's a false start like that. I'm going to put it in there just because. And then I'm going to flag this one just to. Always nice to just go back with Wes and go over them one more time. I think that's what I heard. Yeah. To put his name in to be nominated. Oh, is that what you're saying? The Huh. Interesting. That's the word you mean, Anil. Yeah. He like self-nominated himself because of his bravery. Yeah. All right, let's keep going here. Sewa pahtihat. Mamu. I don't actually know how to spell this. Oh, Tawia. Mamu. Mamu Tawia. No. How do you spell that? Mamu. Oh, it's a long one. Mamu Tawia. I'm still doing something wrong. Long I. No. Oh, Tawia. Yeah, that should be right. I'll just flag it. It's fine. I'm just getting them all to turn blue is my goal here. So that's why I work so hard. That's why I work so hard to. We're really close to launching the new version of the new version of the language database here. Tapuagemat. Tapu, is that Longo? Oh, I see. Oh, come on. Nope. Okay, let's go see if we can find it. Tapu. Oh, it sounded like a long A. Tapuagemat. Tapuagemat. Huh. Oh, jeez. There we go. Hey, Mananto, Brandon Kimaga.
Toni mustikit baksa kagipin.
Musste. What's that word?
Toni mustikit baksa kagipin.
Gettemage. Gettemage.
Toni mustikit baksa kagipin.
Help me out, Neil.
Toni mustikit baksa kagipin.
Let's go find all the words that start with Gettemag. If you're not familiar with this site, you can go to bengodden.com. I use this a fair bit. I talked with Ben and said, hey, do you mind if we integrate this into the Keanu platform at some point? He's like, yeah, go ahead. We haven't got there yet, but you can search for part of a word. So if you wanted to know all of the words that had like paye, super common for something like paye, just click on Nehioiwan and hit search. And then you can go through, and there's going to be lots of them. There's like 600, almost 700, right? So jump through a few pages, right? Everything that has paye in it. Now, just studying 700 words might not be helpful, but if you use a little caret, that little hat, hit Shift 6, Gettemag. That means find all the words that start with this. So if we search, then we're going to find everything that starts with that. And I was hearing, let me listen to that again.
Toni mustikit baksa kagipin.
Gettemag's. Musste Gettemagsa. Gagipn. What does Gettemag's mean?
Toni mustikit baksa kagipin.
It sounds like Gettemagsa, like Gettemag-sum, but in the conjunct. But I'm gonna have to flag this one because I don't know what he's saying here. Gagipn. Let's go to the next chunk and see what he says here.
Kagipin naniga nahat kagip mo pinamoa to taskiup matsoniu. Kagipin naniga nahat kagip mo pinamoa to taskiup matsoniu.
Nigan Hill, can you say that? Long I. Places someone at the lead.
Kagip naniga nahat kagip mo pinamoa to taskiup matsoniu. Kagip naniga nahat kagip mo pinamoa to taskiup matsoniu.
Opinamoat. Can you hear that wow? He says it a lot.
Kagip naniga nahat kagip mo pinamoa to taskiup matsoniu.
Otaskiu. Bima. Let's see if I can get this. Niu. Otaskiu matsuiniu.
Kagip naniga nahat kagip mo pinamoa to taskiup matsoniu.
Yeah. So what did I do wrong here? There might just be too much in there for the... Opinamoa. So that seems fine. It doesn't like this. Probably. Yeah, that seems fine. Otaskiu matsunu. Askew matsuen. Let's try that one. Askew Yeah, I don't think the dictionary even recognizes that word. That's fine. We'll just flag it. It's fine. He put them first and uplifts them on their early walk of life. Earthly. Early? Their earthly, their earth walk. Earthly, yeah. Their early walk. Yeah, but not their light walk, just their early walk. Unless you got Pim in there, then it's, through space and time. Don't mind us, we're just having fun here. Yeah. All right, too fun. Let's keep going.
Eksa na piesk.
We'll make that a bit longer.
Kipe wauge mao makamina. Kipe wauge mao makam. Kipe wauge mao makamina.
Ogimau, I think he's saying.
Kipe wauge mao makamina.
Magamina. Higsena, so he finally became chief, I guess, Magamina. And also, would you say there's Magamina means something specific? It's one of those ones I'm not sure about.
Kiwi cheheweo.
Kiwiti Hueo. Assisted people. I have to do a puzzle. Inactivity detected on your live. So weird. Man, TikTok's a pain. All right.
Kiwi cheheweo. Uki chihta aho ki tauna mo awe takapum. Uki chihta aho ki tauna mo awe takapum. Uki chihta aho ki tauna mo awe takapum.
O Tinamuau. Ki O Tinamuau.
Uki chihta aho ki tauna mo awe takapum.
Oh, I don't know if that's the right word.
Uki chihta aho ki tauna mo awe takapum. Ektahuista goutapun. Ektahuista goutapun.
Oh, I see. Egota Wista, to have a seat there. He's talking about Kieka Otaponet. I think that's what it is.
Ektahuista goutapun. Ektahuista goutapun.
No, it's like this. I think Otaponet. No, that doesn't make sense though. Yeah, Otaponet. Otaponet.
Ektahuista goutapun.
Sounds like Ga Otaponet. Yeah, for him to have a seat there as well. He usually says it like that. That's what threw me off. I'll just flag that one for now.
Uki chihta aho ki tauna mo awe takapum. Ektahuista goutapun.
Yeah. Which sort of brings him back to the beginning of the story, right? Because that was his whole that was the whole thing. Was like the boys in the beginning, they would like gather around the warriors lodge when the Gisitawak, when they would meet, and they would like try and listen in, right? Listen into like when they were going to go raiding or something. And because that was what they wanted the most, was to have a seat in that circle, right?
Ektahmina kiwa pahti heo.
Wapateo. One of these days, Neil, we're just going to have to get you in on Zoom or something, so you can, when you've got the time, instead of doing this over Facebook, we can just do this live. Wapateo.
Ektahmina kiwa pahti heo. Mihche tuau. Kanto paiuet. Mihche tuau. Kanto paiuet.
Oh, it's Nanto Payu. Nito Payu. What have I got wrong here? Yeah, kids. Yeah, thankfully our kids aren't. But here the cat's howling in the background. That's what we're running into. How do you say that? Not. Yeah, not Payu. There it is. Nato Payu. Yeah. Okay. Nato Payu. I'm just trying to figure out this word. Meets a 12.
Mihche tuau. Kanto paiuet.
Kanto Paiuit. Let me just keep going. That'll maybe help me figure out what that is.
Ektahmana mine gipni nit. Ektahmana mine gipni nit.
Igi.
Ektahmana mine gipni nit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Ektahmana mine gipni nit.
If I go back one.
Mihche tuau. Kanto paiuet.
Kanto Paiuit. Tisqua. I gotta look at something here. Trying to sort out in my head. No. Yeah, I'll have to come back to that. I know the word. I just don't understand the form. I'll say, like, what form of the word is that? And we've talked about that a bit before, right? Where, especially in this recording, there's quite a few things in there where I just don't understand. Oh, you know what? I got to go back here. This one I have to flag.
Mihche tuau. Kanto paiuet. Ektahmana mine gipni nit.
Niga Niu, is that it? Yeah. Yeah, I think I've lost the plot. Like, I know what he's talking about, but there's some parts in here where it's like the phrasing is throwing me off a bit. So I have to think about it. Ego tamana. egipem niga neat. So there he was at the head. He was placed at the in the lead, I guess, given top seat.
Pohpokumaan aone mo sompan kagiatsi maat piegua into paiuehtoma.
There's that word again. Into paiuehtmana.
Pohpokumaan aone mo sompan kagiatsi maat piegua into paiuehtoma.
Miss nimusumpan.
Pohpokumaan aone mo sompan kagiatsi maat piegua into paiuehtoma.
Kagiatsamat piegua egin to paiuit mana.
Pohpokumaan aone mo sompan kagiatsi maat piegua into paiuehtoma.
Into paiuit mana. Yeah, that's what I into paiuit. But what does that mean? Oh, if I can spell it right. Nito payu. Yeah, I think those are interchangeable. Nito, nato payu, nito payu. They're kind of the same thing. I think they're or I wonder if there's a distinction. Like this says, go on a raid, go on a warpath. Nato payu, go scouting, go on the warpath. So I don't know. Are they the same? It's like. Can you say nitota, natota? If you go look for something, would be natona or nitona, right? Like they'll seem to be interchangeable lots of times, or maybe like a dialect, like a regional variation, maybe. Yeah, I think they're the same. But why is he not saying ntopayit? Why is he saying topayuit? That's the part I don't get. Like the payuit part is that's throwing me off. Because I would have thought it would be egin topayit.
Pohpokumaan aone mo sompan kagiatsi maat piegua into paiuehtoma.
Uma. So it makes me wonder, is that just another, like, yeah, I'm not sure. Is it just a variation, regional variation? Could be.
Kagin taussiko tuihko tsege sohikas te oesata.
To be surprised.
Kagin taussiko tuihko tsege sohikas te oesata.
Kagin
taussiko tuihko tsege sohikas te oesata.
Forget how to spell that word now.
Kagin taussiko tuihko tsege sohikas te oesata.
Kutse. We he go sick. See? It turned blue. I'm like, Neil says it's probably supposed to be entopayit because it's in the fourth person. I think
Pohpokumaan aone mo sompan kagiatsi maat piegua into paiuehtoma.
I think you're right. I think it's a variation. Like if I look at some of the other ones that I have run into where he uses that particular ending a lot. See if I can find one here. Maybe that gigawiti wheat. That's one. Ayawit, which I would maybe ayayit. I think it's a variation. I think it's a regional variation. But the thing that makes me wonder is, see, one thing I've noticed about Wes, I was talking with somebody about this recently, was like when you read these stories, the Plainscree texts and the sacred stories, the way, so this is Sweetgrass Cree. So when you read this is like the little interesting regional variances in the language that you find in here, I hear in his speech all the time too, because they're the same, because it's Sweetgrass Cree, right? The language is a little bit different everywhere. But this one I'm not familiar with. And I think you're right, Neil. I think you're right. It is that this one here. Into paiit. But he's very clearly, like to me, it's very clearly saying into paiuit. But you know what's interesting about that is I think it's actually the same as in the same way some people say inanaskomoyan, inanaskomowan. I wonder if it's the same as that. It's just like a variation of. But if I think and I think I wasn't confident on the interpretation before, so even though I was thinking it was that fourth person, that obvious position, but I think you're right. I think that is what it is. Popogo, which is like although, no, nevertheless, and yet. My late grandpa would tell a story about when he went raiding. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Neil says, so Mosompan is the third person. He's referring to how he told about Sweetgrass, the fourth person. So I think that's what it is. I think you're right. And I think it's, so the example is, so I do hear this. And the thing is that he does it fairly consistently too, which I think is the clue here. But like I hear this, na skumo. So the way I would say this, I'm grateful. I am grateful. Something like that. But I also hear it this way. Naskomuan in some regions. So I wonder if it's the same thing, because we're hearing a natopai uit. And I wonder if it's the same as what we're saying is it's the same as this, as that other one went reading. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just like a, because we run into this at least 4 or 5 times in this same story. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Neil says, yeah, that happens with verbs ending in O. Yeah. I've heard it in other spots too, yeah. So in Saddle Lake, they pronounce it that way too, Neil's saying. Yeah. Beagwan Wistawa in the Naskumuwan instead of Yan. Instead of in the Naskumuyan, they say in the Naskumuwan. And I do hear that like a bit. And I know for sure down by like the one specifically is that recording of Doreen French Eater. And she's from Ochis, I think. Sunchild Ochis. All right. Let's keep going. Neil says, or even wahk instead of yah. Do you have an example of that specifically? Like a specific word where you hear that? Because I don't know that I've heard that. So I'm wondering if that's like, that seems like a Saddle Lake thing, maybe. Because I don't know if I've heard that before. Specifically. But I mean, shouldn't be surprised, right? That's one of the things that we would talk about this lots too as learners, right? Is like, don't be surprised. As very early as learners, we learn like, don't try not to say like, this is the way it is. Because like you'll quickly learn that's the way it's not. It's somebody else somewhere will say it differently than you did. In Naskamuak. Yeah, maybe I have heard that. Yeah. So I have to pay attention now. Yeah. At the end of this, gas kite ai asetak. I think he said asetak.
Kagin taussiko tuihko teki sohikas te oesata.
Oge. You don't, Neil says, you don't hear it when someone is teaching, but when you hear another praying real fast, they don't pronounce the Y. Makes sense. It's really, I mean, like we do it in English all the time. We don't say laboratory, we say laboratory. We don't say Wednesday, we say Wednesday, right? Like shorten things all the time because like you don't speak perfect, you just don't speak perfectly. So that's one of the tricky parts about doing this transcription process, like going through and figuring every single word. There's a specific reason why we do this. We go and find every single word in a transcription. We work really hard to figure out all those things because it helps inform how do we use this properly. What does this word mean? How do I use it in context? How do I use it properly? Because there are a lot of nuances in language, right? Like language can be very nuanced. And again, that's one of the things we're like when we have a fluent speaker here, Tapskutsa, Marie, or anyone else that comes in, and then they give us these very beautiful and elaborate interpretations of something that's like, oh, this word means, I understand this word to mean sort of what the dictionary says or something like that. Maybe a little bit more than that, but for a fluent speaker, it's painting this elaborate picture, right? Because of the context, because of the implication of the phrasing, the implication of all of the little bits that we're trying to understand what they mean, right? So, and surgically picking out all the little bits maybe doesn't necessarily inform that, but sometimes it does. And sometimes I think you just have to hear it a lot for it to kind of kick in. And that's one of the things that I like to do when I'm done it. And even before I'm done, I'll go back. Like we are 48 minutes into this transcription, and I will go back and listen to it again and listen to it again. Be like, oh yeah, what was that word again? What was that word again? Yeah, let's keep going. I think we got all of this one.
Kagin taussiko tuihko teki sohikas te oesata.
When they were surprised, I think he switched stories now. He's talking about one time. And yet my late grandfather told a story one time about when they went raiding. I think he's talking about Ogitsitawa when they were surprised by the Blackfeet, I think is what he's saying. But let's keep going and see what we find out here. Oh, I got to reload. We're working on that bug. Every once in a while, it just needs a little refresh.
Tapasi tsikesa, spatsina sewa pahta kikmtoni sakaikita.
Tapasi tsiki. Si Isa.
Tapasi tsikesa, spatsina sewa pahta kikmtoni sakaikita. Tapasi tsikesa, spatsina sewa pahta kikmtoni sakaikita.
Mittune. The last word I didn't catch.
Tapasi tsikesa, spatsina sewa pahta kikmtoni sakaikita.
Sagao so one time when they become surprised by the Blackfeet, pim tapasi tikesa, they fled. As they were fleeing, they saw a hill where it was heavily treed. Sagao is the bush, right? Yeah. That's my interpretation of that. This is cool though. The other thing I didn't get, really well when I was recording these is that I didn't understand all the time when Wes was changing, like he would change a story. Because there's just one little clue there, right? That little clue that he was changing story was like this line right here, right? He talked about Sweetgrass having the lead seat, I guess. He'd sort of Exena piesk gipe ogimau magamina giwitseu ogihitauhi ki o te namueo etta ego tawista gigau tapunit. Anyway, this little clue here that he changed stories about this other story, this other time that his grandfather had told him about them going raiding. But in the moment, like I posted that on Facebook the other day, like our recording log. It just says new story ? New story ? Because there were spots in there where I like wasn't sure if he was shifting gears or he was telling the same story. Again, this process of like acquiring language, right? This process of acquiring language.
Tapasiitsikessa ispatsina sewa pahta kikmtoni sakaikita.
Sorry, did you say Asa is the last word?
Tapasiitsikessa ispatsina sewa pahta kikmtoni sakaikita.
Itta. There. We're in that place, I guess. What does the dictionary say? Itta. Where? There? There. Yeah, exactly there.
Ektehe se gita mochikoge.
Egi tamutsik. That's what I heard.
Ektehe se gita mochikoge.
Oge. Itamu. I should know that word. They fled in that direction of the bush, I guess. Egota e segi tamutsik. So they fled toward the bush, I guess.
Tahkootse spatsinasi.
To the top of the hill, I guess. Tahkuts. Long O. Long E. Tahkuts. Oh. An H can sometimes elongate a vowel.
Tahkootse spatsinasi.
Ispatsinasi. To the top of this little hill, I guess you'd say. Ispatsinas.
Ego hohi kaskte oajase tähkä pinna osaati kutsegi se mton egi vaasagami skamitan massagauita.
Kasketeu ai jassittaa.
Ego hohi kaskte oajase tähkä pinna osaati kutsegi se mton egi vaasagami skamitan massagauita.
No waswa tegutsik, these Blackfeet that had chased them. No waswa tegutsik.
Ego hohi kaskte oajase tähkä pinna osaati kutsegi se mton egi vaasagami skamitan massagauita.
Wasagamis. Huh. One more time. I'm gonna go to the middle here.
Kutsegi se mton egi vaasagami skamitan massagauita.
Wasagamiskamiit, it sounded like. Mittunni. Sagam. One more time.
Kutsegi se mton egi vaasagami skamitan massagauita.
That's what I'm hearing.
Kutsegi se mton egi vaasagami skamitan massagauita.
Unmasagawita. Wasagam Skamiet. This is one of those ones again where I'll go back and maybe pick on Ben's site, Wasagam, and just see what we come up with. Anything Wasagame Scum, this one here, Wasagame Skamiet. They walked around it. Okay, there we go. They surrounded the bushes. Surrounded it specifically? Or is it just implied? Wasagame Skamiet Anmasagawta.
Ka so chegom.
Gagaso Tik, where they were hidden. Gaso Tikuma. Longo. Gagaso Tik. Daga booze Ijin. Colin.
Yakte segiwa hoa tihkechik.
Esa e wa.
Yakte segiwa hoa tihkechik.
Wa tihkechik. Oh, see, that turned blue and I'm like, I don't even know that word. I'm just sort of what I'm hearing. Wati geo, they dug some holes. Interesting. Hey, thanks for the likes. Appreciate it. I haven't even checked to see. Yeah, I have no idea if what's it called? Twitch is working tonight. I tried. I'll try again next week. All right, let's keep going.
Ita homa commute psinchik. Ita homa commute psinchik.
Mio dip
Ita homa commute psinchik.
Dipsinitic. Don't know that one either. What's super interesting though is Dipsin. So okay, so that backing up, so they dug some holes just big enough to fit in properly, I guess you'd say.
E gai ka tawa ko chegoma.
E gai
ka tawa ko chegoma.
Tao go tikuma. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Enough to lay in. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
E gai ka tawa ko chegoma. E gai ka tawa ko chegoma.
What's this word?
E gai ka tawa ko chegoma.
Not to be something. I don't know the word. It's interesting because there's another what's that transcription that I was working on with Wes of his mum, and there's a word in there that she used for that hole that the scouts would lay in so they could surprise somebody. I have to go back and find it. It was in that other and I just remember when I was at Sweetgrass we were working on that and he said specifically, oh, that's an old word. You don't hear that word much anymore. And that specifically had to do with a hole that they would lie in to surprise someone.
Pahpasksuguta. Ohe. Pahpasksuguta. Ohe. Pahpasksuguta. 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 Ohe.
6.
Pahpasksuguta. Ohe.
What is this word? Basik. To be shot. Baskis. Bas. This one here. No. Baskis. Baskiso. Baskiso. Let's go back. That's not going to help us. Let me hear it one more time.
Pahpasksuguta. Pahpasksuguta. Ohe.
Baskisahuyo is what Neil's saying. Baskisahuyo. Baskisihuyo? No, just doesn't have it.
Pahpasksuguta. Ohe.
Yes. I just don't understand the inflection.
Pahpasksuguta. Ohe.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'll just leave this one for now because I don't understand the inflection, even though I know and it sounds like a wa ohe, but I don't know if that's what he's saying.
Pahpasksuguta. Ohe.
I'll just flag that for now and we'll come back to it.
Kanto moniskawachik. Kanto moniskawachik.
What does that mean? Moonskuo. Nothing. Though sometimes it's like it's fossilized into the word, but maybe not.
Kanto moniskawachik.
All right, I'll mark that one too.
Ekta. Mana.
2 easy ones. I wish they were all that easy.
Kini ka ni o wikachikoksin.
Awa. Wikaskokisin.
Kayas mana. Etaps kami.
Itapskami. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard him say that before. Ogimaku, who says that one word, maybe he shoots at things. Papisko. Dao? It's just that ending I don't understand. And it could be just, it's not to say that I know everything by any means. That's just the part that has me confused. Let me go back and listen to it one more time with your recommendation here.
Pahpasksuguta. Ohe. Pahpasksuguta. Ohe. Pahpasksuguta.
I'm going to slow it down so I can get all of the bits in there.
Pahpasksuguta. Pahpasksuguta.
Papaskis.
Pahpasksuguta.
Kisi. Go. So. Something like that. Something like that. I'll ask Wes. Again, I can tell, when we're 50 minutes into a story, so like, after you've been telling the story for an hour, right? Like, you get a little bit tired or something, or you're just like, in some spots, he's speaking a little bit quicker. You just want to finish the story, even though you need like a drink of water or something like that, right? So like, never really think about it as to like you deeply analyze a recording of somebody. Neil says a baskisa gotawa ohe, they who are shot.
Pahpasksuguta. Ohe.
Saguts. Yeah, and that's what it actually sounds like. Baskisa guts. Like that. Like gut, but like diminutized. Awa. Oh, here. That must be it. I'll still go over it with Wes. I'll just mark it in red because those come up for me when I'm working through them with Wes. All right, let's keep going. That's going to be a cough, I'm pretty sure.
Wayan.
Oh.
Wayan.
Or not. Wayan. What is that? Okay. Oh, yeah, Wayan. Yeah, okay. Like, Bogoayan. Let's keep going here.
Wayan. Yushi tat omi te ntopayu ihioma.
We'll see that. Pretty sure that's a long I.
Wayan. Yushi tat omi te ntopayu ihioma.
He says omite. I'm just writing it like this because omite doesn't analyze, or actually maybe I will write it like that because he says it enough. Let's mark it.
Wayan. Yushi tat omi te ntopayu ihioma.
To paiui keu uma. Let me listen to that one more time.
Wayan. Yushi tat omi te ntopayu ihioma.
Neil says, look up Buskis. Buskiswu. And then those who are shot. They who are shot. It's going to be X to 3 or X to 4. This one maybe. Or this one. Ipapaskisotsik. But I didn't hear that in there. I can go back and have another quick look and
Pahpasksuguta. Oh he. Pahpasksuguta. Oh he.
yeah, I'm going to leave it because my brain won't interpret that.
Wayan. Yusi tat. Omi te ntopayu I hioma.
Topaiui Geo. Is it like to make a raid? I guess it would be, wouldn't it? Something like that. Flag that one too. All right, let's keep going.
Heuanan maman Egypt mamsitota. Egypt kagagi simotota. Heuanan maman Egypt mamsitota. Egypt kagagi simotota.
Mamsito tak. Mamsito tak. Mamsito dum. Oh, plan a raid, organize a raid. That makes sense. Oh, mamsito dum.
Heuanan maman Egypt mamsitota. Egypt kagagi simotota. Heuanan maman Egypt mamsitota. Egypt kagagi simotota.
Egi. Gagi se motota. And we missed our favorite particle in there too.
Heuanan maman Egypt mamsitota. Egypt kagagi simotota.
Marcy Fawn says, so amazing what you're doing here. Miasin, I glad you showed up. We're working through these stories that we recorded as learners. From time to time, we have a couple of one or two fluid speakers here to help us out. We're just puzzling through and finding all the pieces here.
Kikakanawimkut. Minekta maski hi minekta nana tohki gwai.
To be taken care of, specifically him, I think.
Kikakanawimkut. Minekta maski hi minekta nana tohki gwai.
Maski ki.
Kikakanawimkut. Minekta maski hi minekta nana tohki gwai.
And other things. Egota. Kotakigwe, is that what he said? Oh,
Kikakanawimkut.
Nanatok.
Minekta maski hi minekta nana tohki gwai.
There's that Kigwe.
Egi kikatstatoma. Kano simona. Egi kikatstatoma. Kano simona. Egi kikatstatoma. Kano simona.
Kano Simona. Couple of words there I don't understand.
Egi kikatstatoma. Kano simona.
Egigastat. This is one of those ones where I can go here and go Gasta. Let's go back. No. What was the first word, Neil? Gano. Oh, Ganowissimona. Yeah, the last half of that I figured the first part. Ganosimona. Yeah, both of those seem to work. Oh, the spam is rolling in on our YouTube here. It's fine. or on our Facebook. They put in place protection medicine for protection. Do I have that first word right? Igigigastat. Let's hear it again.
Igigigatstatoma. Kanosimona. Igigigatstatoma. Kanosimona.
Let's just go. I just want to go here and astau. All of the words that I think it's this one. Giigawastau. That's close though. Let me listen to it again.
Igigigatstatoma. Kanosimona.
Igigigastatuma. Yeah, we'll just leave that one for now. Come back to it. I'll flag it. Okay, moving on.
Igwahpia gwawe soma yaksi soma gaise.
Yeah, well,
Igwahpia gwawe soma yaksi soma gaise.
exisum. Grab the next chunk there.
Igwahpia gwawe soma yaksi soma gaise. Kagise. Tasoiho teknikaitoa. Kagise. Tasoiho teknikaitoa.
Tasuihigutsik. He says. I don't know that word there. Tasuihigutsik.
Kagise. Tasoiho teknikaitoa.
Tasuihigutsik. Tasuihigutsik. Tasuihiu. Itasue. They were commanded, I guess. Itasui, itasu. Itasui higutsik.
Kagise. Tasoiho teknikaitoa.
Doesn't quite sound, it just sounds like tasui higutsik. I'll just leave it like this for now and I'll flag that one for Wes. Yeah. Go back and grab the rest of that. All right.
Ai sino waho he kanto nto pai cheki te homa. Ai sino waho he kanto nto pai cheki te homa. Ai sino waho he kanto nto pai cheki te homa.
Tehuma.
Ektahesa sone.
They were told to, that's what they were told to do to put protection on themselves before a raid. Do you know that one word, Neil?
Igwahpia gwawe soma yaksi soma gaise. Kagise. Tasoiho teknikaitoa. Ektahesa sone.
Sisone. Let's grab a little bit more here.
Sone chahan ta huya oigi pia goga pautawa. Sone chahan ta huya oigi pia goga pautawa.
Sisone attack, is that what he says? Anta.
Sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta. Sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta. Sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta. Sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta.
Stands alone. A wee peago gapuit, I think I'm hearing.
Sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta.
Peago. I don't know if you can just say gapuit on its own. I don't think that's. Yeah. Peago gapu. Yeah, it doesn't. That's fine. Peago gapuit. Pretty sure I understand what he's saying though. A peago gapuit.
Sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta.
I'm listening to that whole thing again.
Hekta hesa sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta.
I'm gonna flag. I think that's. How come I never spell the right word for this? Attack. Yeah, okay. We just talked about that. H elongates the sound. Sisone attack, like alongside the spirit, I guess. Anta, that one there. Oh, does he say sagak? That's not what I'm hearing though.
Hekta hesa sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta.
I'm hearing attack. I'm not hearing sagak. But you know what? I'll flag it. And then we can get definitive, informed definitively.
We kaskokse. Kutagagan gegi ka kasochik.
We kasko kisin.
We kaskokse. Kutagagan gegi ka kasochik.
Iggy Gossipsick, I think he said. Gossipsick. Yeah. It's got to be Sagak, right? Let me just, it doesn't fit the context. I know it's like.
Hekta hesa sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga pauta. We kaskokse.
Yeah, so he stood alone there beside the bush, I guess, but I'm hearing attack, but I think you're right. It's got to be, unless there's another word for itzag. It's not attack. He stood alone and I don't know. I'll ask Wes. I don't know why Gotagak doesn't index. That's weird. We kasko kisin. Leave that one alone. But he stood there alone anyway by the bush, I guess.
Pagkakaminek takagi wiche hoe tau pia si owa sa sekuspi.
Tiganta. Disqua.
Hekta hesa sone chahan ta huya wegi pia goga.
Tsahkanta. Sisne tsahkanta. Is there a word like itzag? No. 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 Yeah, we'll come back to it. It's fine. We'll come back to it. It really sounds like itzag.
Pagkakaminek takagi wiche hoe tau pia si owa sa sekuspi.
Huh? Thunderchild. Interesting.
Pagkakaminek takagi wiche hoe tau pia si owa sa sekuspi.
Kagi Jehu. So I'm hearing that. That's that form again.
Pagkakaminek takagi wiche hui tau pia siwa sa Shakespeare.
Be su oasis expi ego spi. One more time.
Pagkakaminek takagi wiche hui tau pia siwa sa Shakespeare. Pagkakaminek takagi wiche hui tau pia siwa sa Shakespeare.
He was accompanying. Is he saying he was accompanying Thunderchild? Again, he used this exact form of the word several times, and this is a VAI. Oh, which is interesting. Huit. It's not in here, but I wonder if it's this one. Huit. But the stress is wrong. Thunderchild may have, that's what Neil says, Thunderchild may have went along too at that time, which is, so that makes sense to me. Huit. I wonder if that's what it is. Yeah, now I hear it perfectly. Huit. Huit. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I'm overcomplicating this for myself. And you're all tagging along for the ride. It's a good thing Neil's here, you know. We'd be getting a lot less done tonight. Kinanas kumtanan, Neil. Yeah. That way, we're gonna go for about 10 more minutes, and then we're at 50 minutes into the story. This is amazing. Isn't that what I said tonight? Maybe we can make it to 50 minutes, and we did.
Yeah. Kagi tatoma. Yeah.
You know what the funniest thing about that too, Neil, is like as soon as soon as you said it and then we put it in there, and this has happened 1,000 times, I'm sure. Then you go back and listen to it again, and you can hear it perfectly. It's like I didn't hear it that perfectly the first time, but now that I know what it is, yeah. Neil says I learned more from this than any class I've ever taken. Lol. You and me both. I really appreciate even the folks that are just lurking on the live streams. Feel free to lurk. There's no need to chime in or whatever. But I do want to say this is so much more fun multiplayer. I call it. You know, even if you're unsure or whatever, feel free to offer suggestions. If you have an idea about something or whatever, this is one of those things that this isn't a class. There's no wrong answers or whatever. But this is way more fun multiplayer. This is way more fun when we do this together because we learn together, we laugh together, we joke together. And so, again, there's no requirement from anybody. But I will say, you know, when folks chime in like Neil or Marie or whoever else shows up and they're offering suggestions and stuff, that makes this way less painful because it's... especially the first few times I started doing transcribes, wanted to transcribe online for the longest time, but it's super intimidating because you're literally sitting there on the internet watching me struggle through this. But I learn a ton every time.
Yeah. Kagi tatoma.
And he'd probably said to that other one.
Ekta.
Neil says, yeah, definitely. I do this alone all the time, but it's more fun with others. I do a bit of transcribing alone. And I was just saying to my wife, especially now that I'm home and I've kind of got this set up. I think I'm going to switch to a couple of times a week doing a live stream because it is way more fun, but I want to transcribe way more. Right now I'm doing it, we're 2 hours into this now on Sundays, and I do a little bit in the meantime, but I want to ramp up transcribing a lot. Like maybe, I don't know, 6-8 hours a week would be great.
Ekta igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
Kapegi sick. Marcy says, I'm here to learn. Damien says, I love that you do these. I've taken classes with Roland, Baldhead, Neil, Darian, Ajikate, Ben Godden, and watching you do these is so helpful and inspiring. I'm grateful for all my teachers, Stopway, and everyone who shares their knowledge. Miasen, it's good to have you here. We're all getting something out of this, so yeah, feel free to come along here. My site is this one here, keanu.net. And we're adding a bunch of stuff. We're just talking about some restructuring. We want to change the learner library. We're going to revamp this a little bit and start including more languages. Right now, we're sort of mostly have around Cree mostly. We have a few different dialects of stuff here. I definitely want to start listing out more videos, more YouTube channels, but more content for other languages. Lakota, Dakota, Salish, Blackfeet. Really start, and then having an easy way for people to submit stuff so that we can continue to build this out as a database. And then if you come in here and you're like, oh, okay, I'm looking to watch stuff, right? And then I want to drill into, like, say, Nehiuan specifically, and I want like something at a beginner. Whoop, let me try that again. Beginner level, beginner, and we'll say Nehiuan. And then I try to categorize these. So again, this is not comprehensive, but we definitely want to build this out more. And then also more technology, because there's a lot of tech out there that people don't even know about in various languages and whatnot. So we start publishing some more of that stuff. Yeah. Ugemakio says, I will get on lots of times, but not all the time. Yeah, we appreciate you being here. Anybody who's come in for the ride, we appreciate you.
Ekta igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
So he almost stood there all day. Yeah. Ni pawit. Anma, is that what he said?
Ekta igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
Kiga.
Igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
Not sure what I'm hearing there.
Igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
Anma sounds like.
Igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure what that ending is. I'll just flag it. Once the stream is a few seconds behind, so I'm sure Neil will chime in here.
Kagitahkuna kakawa pamatkas ktiwese ta
Oh,
hepsi
paskisikan.
namoat.
The gun.
Ekta igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
Baskisikan. But that's not what it is. Baskisikananma, I think he's saying. Let me just grab that last bit again. Because he talked about, let me back up.
Igat kapegi sege gini potman kik pas kiranan.
Why did he say giga? Giga.
Igat kapegi se gini potman, kikpas ranan. Kikpas ranan.
Yeah, I'm still confused. I'm going to leave it. I think I know what he's saying.
Kagitahuna.
That he was carrying.
Matkas teoese tahekse itas namoatman.
Kagitahkanak, the gun he was carrying.
Kagitahuna. Matkas teoese tahekse itas namoatman.
Wapamat. Kasketeo ayasita.
Kagitahuna. Matkas teoese tahekse itas namoatman.
Igi. Just grab that last word.
Itas namoatman.
Tasinamoat.
Itas namoatman.
What's interesting about the use of man in this context, like I understand man as usually, but the story seems very specific to a very specific instance. So he was just saying the gun that he was carrying. Kawap mat kasketewasta. As soon as, well, like when he saw that, exi tasinamuat. Tasinamo. Tasinamo. Itasinamuat. He shot at him, but then he used man at the end. I'm going to flag this one. Tasinam. One more time. I'm going to listen to the whole thing.
Kagitahuna. Matkas teoese tahekse itas namoatman.
Man. That's what throws me off is like man. Mana means, to me, is like usually or whatever, but like, okay, I think I understand. So as soon as he saw it, he's not talking about a specific Blackfoot, but like as soon as he saw Blackfoot, he would shoot at them right away. I think is what he's saying. So it's not just one specific instance. He means like when. When is in like. I think that's what it means.
Mina uiste pahpaskisogut.
Vista.
Mina uiste pahpaskisogut.
Yeah, speaking generally. Yeah, Neil says he's speaking generally. I was confused for a minute because I thought he was talking about. So that makes me wonder, because this comes back to the conversation around ga.
Kagitahuna. Matkas teoese tahekse itas namoatman.
So now if I think about that, like gagitahkonak is more specific to that time, like he was carrying. But gawapamat is less specific. It's more general. But if you said gagiwapamat, would that be specific to an instance? Like one instance of having seen a Blackfoot? Could that be one of the distinctions? This is just like 7 years into this journey, and I'm still not always 100% certain when to use, like, I use ga and I'll use gagi, but then I've heard fluent speakers use those in context where it's like, oh, I didn't know you could use it that way. Like, I'm still not 100% certain about the usage on that sometimes.
Mina uiste pahpaskisogut. Mina uiste pahpaskisogut.
Paskisegut. Paskise. Wouldn't it have to be Bas Neil says it's like saying when one was to see a Blackfoot, they would usually shoot at them. Yeah, that makes sense. Like in general. Janelle says it's part of the storytelling, recalling the story retelling of that time. Yeah, and that makes sense to me. I will find a better instance of like, there was a spot in here where, for instance, where he used gi at the end of one sequence of events to sort of denote the next sequence of events was going to happen. I'll have to go back and find it. It was around the time when they were doing the singing and all of that, and when Sweetgrass got his name, and I was like, I didn't know you could use gi that way. But I guess it's still relative to today. It's still in the past. I don't know. It's still forming in my mind the correct way to use those for the most part. I'm going to flag this one because I'm pretty sure he's saying he was shot at. Baskis, good.
Minä uiste paskisogut.
Didn't we just go through this? Shoots. Baskis. Oh, good. Like that? Baskis. No. Baskis se juego. Let me just find it. Baskis so good. That one. I'm just trying to find the conjugation. It's gonna be, I'm looking for tisqua 4 to 3. Yes, this one. Baskisokut, yeah, that one there. Baskisogut. I wonder why these are bold in the dictionary. I wonder what that means. Baskisogut. I wonder if it doesn't like that. Yep. There we go. That's fine. Prairie Ghost Ken. Oh, okay, Miyasan. I go live. We're just about wrapping up. Actually, I'm overtime. We'll go for a little bit more. I usually fire up on Sundays. Excuse me. I'm going to try and do a couple nights a week, but Sundays for sure, usually at 6-ish Pacific, I'm usually online. So if you want to catch the live stream, I think I'm going to start doing a live stream again on Wednesdays. I used to do 2 lives a week, and then it was a lot, but I'm back in the place where I'm like, I want to do 2 lives, at least two lives a week. And then there's the odd time where it's like, I just want to go live and transcribe. So you can just keep an eye out for that. Remember when I remember when I was trying to throw, I was working with a group of fluid speakers. Nimis, Chris, and I think Edwin was there, and they were helping me write a story, my own story, and I kept trying to use Asa, but it doesn't work that way. You can't use Asa in your own story. Uitsugemawa. Pretty sure that's what I'm hearing. It's always interesting the way he phrases that. He almost says like the pronoun before and then after again. And it's just the way you phrase it. Just the way you phrase it, I guess. Ken says, I forgot to check the Discord sometimes, but I'll make a note of that. I do Cook 'em Dorothy's on Mondays. I should do a better job of posting in the Discord too. When Ben and Maggie were super active in there, it was actually much more active. And I'm trying to get back in the habit of being in there more often because I think it's a great resource for people, especially learners, just to connect and share. Ideally, I'd love to see people sharing questions and more of that. It's a server like that either works or it doesn't. That's just how it comes down to. Yeah, Neil says unless it's a story about seashells. Let me listen to this again.
Ki tātou e sagagi tātou he wītike māua hohe.
Uitsigamawa.
Ki tātou e sagagi tātou he wītike māua hohe.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying. His fellow chief, probably the war chief, I guess. So again, here's that gagitat. So, Janelle, if you're still on the live, or Neil, or anyone else, would you take a crack at phrasing, take a crack at interpreting this for us? Because this is one of those spots where I'm like, I didn't know you could use gagi like that. But let me do the next section in case there's something else in here that supplements that phrase.
E kua nā nakai tehta man piesi o asas ma nakagi sihka tehta. E kua nā nakai tehta man piesi o asas ma nakagi sihka tehta. E kua nā nakai tehta man piesi o asas ma nakagi sihka tehta. E kua nā nakai tehta man piesi o asas ma nakagi sihka tehta.
Neil says, and I guess that's when he suddenly said to his fellow chief, that one that I think was called Thunderchild. But this is the part where I was confused.
Ki tātou e sagagi tātou he wītike māua hohe.
Yeah, but it's almost, I don't know how to explain this. Like in my brain, it's like anchoring the story to a new event. Right? In the same way that, okay, so bear with me, okay? This is my brain working through, this is my learner brain trying to figure this out. Ga-gi, for me, like in the way that ga can just mean when or where or something like that, but ga was like more in general, right? Or ga, we huanit, the one that is named, the one with a name, right? Ga-gi in my mind anchors something in the past, right? It anchors it in time, I guess. But here, if I look at this now, this one here,
Kagi tahuna.
that gun that he had been carrying, right? It almost like relative to the time of telling is, I guess, where my brain is at, right? So this gagi here seems different than this gagi here. Oh no, sorry, this one.
Tātou e sagagi tātou he wītike māua hohe.
But again, like those seem different in the way they're, because one seems relatively past to the events that were transpiring in the story, and one of them seems relatively present. And I'm just like, I didn't know you could use gagi. Like, it's just like, kitatue sa gagi. It's just like, when you say that, kitatue sa, you're about to tell something else that is going to happen in the story. But then you use gagi, and I'm like, oh, that gagi for me makes it relative to now, puts it in the past. I don't know. These are the things that we contemplate as learners. Real says, just be happy he did throw Pim in there. My brain will figure it out eventually. Yeah, Damien says, Ben calls Guy a completion marker, but yeah, I think I think that makes sense. The way I think about it now, it's like it's anchoring it at that point in time, like Gagi is more specific for me. It's more specific to a point in time, or more specific to an occurrence maybe. And it's whereas Ga is just relative, right? Ga seems more relative, like when, or that one who, or that which, like it's just a more relative thing. Gagi for me seems more specific, happened. And so I guess the way I think about this now that I think about it, maybe these are the same that he was carrying at that time. That happened at that time. It was at that time that he apparently suddenly said to his fellow chief, I guess. It's just rewiring in my brain because there's no book on Gagi. There's no class on this, right? This is one of those things we just need to figure out. And I just haven't fully figured it out. Right? Gagi, Sigate. Do these all mean the same thing? Gagi? I have to think about it more. Let's keep going. Let's go a little bit more. See, we're still out of this is we've unlocked transcribing for me. Janelle says, yes, I will. I'll go back to here, actually.
Minä uiste paskisogut. Kitahto esagagi tato he wichike mawa hohe. Ego na nakaitehtä man piisio asas man nakagi sihkateht.
Did that help? Neil says, he could have not said the gi and it would have still had the same. See, and that's what I thought too. That's what I was thinking. That's one of those things. Is like, if you, this is a question I have for a fluent speaker. Because this, for me, this is almost a complete sentence. Like, and suddenly he said to his fellow chief, the one that was whatever, like there's more to come. Well, let's actually do the next piece.
Aha.
And then he used it, gagitat. Again, so then he's using it to anchor the occurrence in a specific point in time. But the question I would have is like, how would this change if you didn't use gagi, if you just use ga, or if you just use a, or if you just use a gi? Would those mean different things? I would love to know that. Like if you said, ke tato esa e gitat. But no, that would make sense because that would actually be relative past to the point in time where this story is being told. What if he said, kitato esa etat? Oh, he, uitsogamawa. I don't know. I got to think about this more. Neil says, people make small mistakes that technically don't matter, but people understand what is being said anyhow, unless they accidentally swear. Yeah, I think so. Janelle says, suddenly he said to him, his fellow chief, that's the one who I thought is the one who is called Thunderchild. Yeah. Suddenly he said to him, it was just the use of gagi in this specific context. Ketato esa. Like, could you say ketato esa etat? Would that change the meaning? Would that change when that happened? is there a reason you have to say kitatoe sa gagitat? Because that's, I'll just have to, because I've listened to a lot of stories, I've transcribed a lot of stuff, and is it just like speaker preference? Like Wes's, the way he speaks is just very specific, and I don't fully grok it, I guess.
Eikö ne sa gagitat? Ahau.
How? Throw us a softball here. How?
Metonintat nesto kapa voi no muuta voi ite mai. Metonintat nesto kapa voi no muuta voi ite mai. Metonintat nesto kapa voi no muuta voi ite mai.
Nista. Neil was saying if you use a, you're saying he said to him. But if you say gagi, it's like it was then that he said to him. And I think that makes sense. So it's almost like a phrasing issue. It's almost like a phrasing preference. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So maybe the short answer is you could say it either way. Maybe the short answer is you could say it either way. Cyrus says it's like the Cree Cafe in here. Miasin. Somebody help me with this word. I'm stuck.
Metonintat nesto kapa voi no muuta voi ite mai.
Naistogapwin? Oh, let me reload. I got a bug here. Ganestogapwin. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that's... Nestogap. Yeah, there's another one of those. These gapu words. Actually, I wanted to go and look in. I think I did this already with Ben's site. Yeah, there's lots, but nesto. No, that's all of them.
Metonintat nesto kapa voi no muuta. Metonintat nesto.
Nitate. That's what I thought I heard at first. I'm getting tired of standing here.
Metonintat nesto kapa voi no muuta voi ite mai.
Nestowe. Yeah, it's just not in there. That's okay. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Metonintat nesto kapa voi no muuta voi ite mai.
Why we the mic? Why you we the why we the mic? The link to Ben's site is right here. It's bengodden.com, this one. You can go and do a more specific search. There's a couple different ways you can search. If you search with a caret, the number above the 6, that little hat looking thing there, that'll say search for something that starts with this. Probably nothing there. But if we search for like nesto, right? So then we can see all of these start with nesto. If you just search for nesto, it'll be like anywhere in the word. So I don't know if we'll find, yeah, we kind of like, and if you want to find something that ends with a specific like bayou, then you can put $sign at the end and it'll do. So anything that ends with bayou, if you're looking for a specific ending. These are just dictionary forms, so they're like the third person form. But yeah, that's the site, bengodden.com. And you can search in English as well. His is interesting because you can do a search for something that ends in Bayou, and then you can do another search, and we can be like, I don't know, something tip. So then this is everything that ends in Bayou that contains tip, right? So there's tip, Bayou. So it's just sort of to be able to do like a free text / morpheme search, if you want to think of it that way. What's this last word here?
Metonintatnestoka pawenomuta wayuitemae.
Is it A-Y-O-E? Y-O-E, the mic. It's just a stress is on here. Y-O-E, the mic. Y-O-E. Y-O-E. Yeah, but what is the actual Cree word? Y-O-E, the mic. I don't know the word. We'll come back to it.
Mahteguahpe miskutistama oin kieptama. Mahteguahpe miskutistama oin kieptama.
Mescochist.
Mahteguahpe miskutistama oin kieptama.
Like swap out with me maybe, or Janelle says it's the
Metonintatnestoka pawenomuta wayuitemae.
I would expect Waiuitamik. So it's just a variation of that word. Let me just change that. Waioi. Waiuitami. That's what I would expect. Waiuitami. But that's not what I'm hearing.
Metonintatnestoka pawenomuta wayuitemae.
I'm hearing Waiuitamaik. I'll just flag it and I'll ask Wes. Could be just a slip.
Mahteguahpe miskutistama oin kieptama.
Pitama. There's a word in there in between.
Mahteguahpe miskutistama oin kieptama.
Okay, pitama. Mesko to change. So there's a good example that tsist. Go find a word that has that in there. Elevated. Let's find one that has tsist in the middle. No, these all have. Oh, tsistamoil. Tsistipiteo. Scratch. Pinch. What was the word again? Mescotist. I wonder if we can find that. And mescot. I think that's to change, yeah? Mescoti. Mescotistamoin. Yeah, okay. I was looking up this part, but that's actually mescotistamoin. Take a turn. Yeah, that makes sense. Tistamo. No. Stow? Nope. Okay. Take your turn. I'll flag that one that way. Couple more. Neil says, why are we dimai? I'm just going to have another look. Why are we dimai? Like this. But yeah, just that. How is that different than why are we dimai? That's what I'm wondering. Is it like, or is it just the same thing? It's just a variation of that word. Or did you just, yeah. Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Hachiogiuta pega noichige. Hachiogiuta pega noichige.
You keep an eye on things here for a bit, for now. Uta. Atsio for a while.
Hachiogiuta pega noichige.
Pekanawe. Gonna wait, Sige. Keep an eye on things. Is it like that? Yeah. Gonna wait, Sige. Directly outside. Interesting. That why we tamai. Huh. That's interesting.
Mituninta
Interesting. I don't think I've heard that before. That's really cool. Can you say why we tamau? Just outside. It's cool.
Hachiogiuta pega noichige. Hachionigan toa station in ya.
I'm gonna go take a rest. Stationin nia. Atsio. Stationin. Yep. Closely outside. I'll drop both of your.
Mitunintat ni
I'm gonna put your name in there just so I remember. I'll remember the initials for Neil. I had to think about your last name for a minute there, Janelle. I believe it's Stick, yeah?
Exat satapoyane huia gimishkutsaga. Exat satapoyane huia gimishkutsaga po istamaatan. Exat satapoyane huia gimishkutsaga po istamaatan.
Anne.
Exat satapoyane huia gimishkutsaga po istamaatan.
I think that's what he said.
Exat satapoyane huia gimishkutsaga po istamaatan.
Sigapo. Stammo. Let me one more time.
Exat satapoyane huia gimishkutsaga po istamaatan.
That is so amazing. The language is so amazing. Like, because I don't think you can, like, the gapo. You can't just say gapo by itself. So this has to be one chunk. Me skuts gapo. We stamuat. Because the previous one was me skutsi stamuin. Me skutsi gapo. So it comes stand in for me, I guess. Swap out. Yeah, it's just cool. how productive the language is. Let's do one more. He stood in his place. Yep.
Magapamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta. Kektahesa.
It wasn't that long ago where I would just...
Magapamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta. Kektahesa.
Can you say pamoisk?
Magapamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta. Kektahesa.
I'm hearing pamoisk. Pu.
Magapamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta. Kektahesa.
Egituta.
Magapamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta. Kektahesa.
Kagituta. It's that last word.
Magapamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta. Kektahesa.
Yeah, I get, yeah. Thank you, Neil. Neil says ka apu. It blended in with the...
Magapamo eskapu. Eksan magagituta. Kektahesa.
Iguti isa. All right, one more.
Oskiniku. Ekoats. Ewichiho ento paiwestoma.
Eguayats.
Oskiniku. Ekoats. Ewichiho ento paiwestoma.
To paiuit. That's what I'm hearing.
Oskiniku. Ekoats. Ewichiho ento paiwestoma.
So this sounds like that other word that we had. But now I'm not sure. Let me do one more.
Ntoneki nene kam sete sano oskiniku. Ntoneki nene kam sete sano oskiniku. Ntoneki nene kam sete sano oskiniku.
One more time.
Ntoneki nene kam sete sano oskiniku.
Negam is sit.
Oskiniku. Ekoats. Ewichiho ento paiwestoma.
But I think it's that same one we talked about before. Dopayit. So it's just that vowel change. Or that's that glide change, I guess.
Ntoneki nene kam sete sano oskiniku.
Negamisit. Negamisit. Never heard that before. I have no idea what this word is. Negamisit says something about sleeping, I guess. Negamsu. That doesn't seem like it.
Ntoneki nene kam sete sano oskiniku.
Okay. Oh man, do we do this one? Hey, Manato.
Nia ektahan tauni po negi tuete samtu ne pe oipa epe pasigupa ta tektahan me ni po te machipa pas soto hegas te oaset.
All in one breath. Eager. Hold on, let me go. Tisqua. Negamsit. Eager. Oh, I glanced at this and saw dance, and I thought, no, that can't be it. He was eager. Negamsit.
Donegi nene
Negamsit. It doesn't like that either way. That's fine. Well, I'll mark it as a spelling error or a indexing issue. All right. I just want to listen to that one more time, that next part, but I'm not going to transcribe it. We'll just shut her down there tonight.
nia tahan tauni po negi to te sam to ne pe oi pa e pe pasigo pa ta te tahan me ni po te ma chi pa pas so to he gas te waset.
He started shooting at him. All right. We're gonna leave it there tonight. Yeah, we're almost 3 hours into this live. Man, that's awesome. TikTok says 246 and Restream says 224. It's weird that there's a 20-minute discrepancy between those. That's fine. I'll see if I can reconnect Twitch again for the next one. Said I think I'm going to try and sneak another live in the middle of the week. I'd like to go live a couple times a week. I'd love your feedback if we can do more transcribing in the week, but also I was thinking about we can work on some other stuff too. Like we've done lots of this kind of stuff. Whatever's helpful for folks, breaking down. So sometimes in the live we'll like get into some of the words and the grammar and different things. I met a family when I was in Edmonton last. Alex Fire Thunder and his wife, Camille, I think. And they had their family there, and he's about 12 or 13 years into his language journey. He tells stories in Lakota every day on TikTok right now for, I think it's American Native Heritage Month or something like that. And anyway, just like sounds great. And just very confident in his language, and you can tell when you listen to other learners speak, how much they're thinking about what they're trying to say, or like getting hung up on words, and just like the level of confidence that Alex uses in his speaking. I was like, man, spill the beans. I want to know everything. How do you approach this, or what do you tell people? And he's like, I've got unpopular opinion. He's like, study the grammar. Start with the grammar, and then he's like, lots of transcribing. And I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. I mean, I won't tell anybody that you have to do it that way, but if you do it that way, you will get lots of language. I'll pull this up. I got these actually on printouts here. I got these from Ben, but if you search for Cree decoder ring, okay, you'll get this summary paradigm tables from the Cree Literacy Network. I don't study these anymore, but I did a lot in the beginning, and they will deep dive you into the grammar. I have a video on YouTube about how to use this chart, and basically I just kept this in my back pocket for about 2 years, 2 maybe 3 years. I just kept it in my back pocket because you if you want to be able to tell a story or understand a story, like eventually you need to know all of these. And this isn't even all of them. There's actually more than this. But I remember one time I was taking Ruben's class. It was actually, I think, the first class I was taking with him. Cyrus, I go live on Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific. Ogamakyu says, if you have other times, what time is the other days? It'll be about the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Probably Wednesdays and Sundays. I go live every Sunday, and I'm going to try and go live on Wednesdays as well. Anyway, I asked Ruben, I said, how do you say, I want to eat? And he said, ne no te mitsun. And I said, okay. How do you say, you want to eat? And he said, ke no te mitsun. How does that? All right. Okay. I'm feeling like I got this. I want you to eat. I said, how do you say I want you to eat? He said, Kintoimitin tamitsoyen. I'm like, what? how, Neil spells it like this. Mitsoyen, but the SRO, they spell it this way. And actually, Neil, what's super interesting, I have a video of AJ Felix saying this inflection, and he pronounces it yan. Yan. And I was like, that's the only time I've ever heard that. It always sounds like yin or yin, but he said it so clearly, and I was like, interesting. So I was like, how does this work? I want to eat ninote mitsun. You want to eat kinote mitsun or kinote mitsun. I want you to eat kintoemten tamitsoyen. I was like, what? What? How does that work? That broke my brain for a long time. And the reason is that this, and I started to learn about different verb types, right? This is what they call a VAI. That just means it's a verb. It's an animate person, and it's not transitive, whatever that means. Doesn't involve anybody else, right? And then, but this one here is a different nintoemeo. Totally different. And this one means that one eats. I always put the third person form because that's the form you'll find in the dictionary. They call it the lemma, the dictionary form. Toemeo. That one wants that other wants someone, presumably to do something, but the to eat part is in this part. So these are different verbs, and this one is what they call a VTA, okay? And that means verb, transitive, and it's an animate, the thing that you're transitiving onto, if that makes sense, is an animate thing. Neil says video or it never happened. Video or what never happened? What are you talking about? Oh, the video of AJ Felix. I will send it to you. No, because it was a video. It 100% was a video. I have to go find it now, but it was a video series that they're, I think, is it Pipicasis is developing a video series to go along with some books that they have. And it's 100% a video. Anyway, so back to our grammar lesson here before we wrap up. So this ntoyamel, that one, wants someone else or wants someone else to do something or something like that. If we look it up, what does it say in here? Ntoyamel. Wants something from them. Yeah. And so the long answer is there are different types of verbs. And so then you get into, okay, well, if you know nothing about, like verbs and grammar and all of that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, well, what is that? Okay, well, a verb is an action, right? But like, what is transitive? What does animate mean? Like, it opens up this whole rabbit hole of whatever. But if you can get through it, right? I don't rely on this anymore, but I studied this for a long time just to get a good handle on that. Cahill says, I hope I'm saying that right. Cahill, how do you say you want me to eat? So then that one would be Kintoe min. Da mitsoyan. Okay. Because if you said it the other way, it wouldn't make sense. You want me to eat. And we can break these down. Kintoe mtin, this is the part that means I want you. That's me. Two, you, singular. Me, singular. Sorry. You want me. And technically, it's actually this way. Yeah, it's this way. That's this one here. And then when we get to the da, then this is the one to eat. This one is the want. That's sort of how they break out, like that. And then this one here, kintoemin, this is now the other way, this way. One, want. We're doing like intralinear gloss almost. And then this is the mitsoyin, sorry. This is two singular, and this is one singular. To eat. So this is you to eat, the mitsoyin, and this is me to eat, the mitsoyan. Yeah, Cyrus, yin yang. 99% say yin, unless it's, well, but sometimes it's yin. Neil says, how do you sing the song, I Want You to Want Me? Oh my goodness. Okay. This is ridiculous now. Okay, I want you to want me. There's like, this is ridiculous. So we're going to start with this. I want you. But you have to realize that this one here, if we go to the new line, this is a VTA. Yeah. And this is a VAI. Same as this. This is VTA, meaning there's no transitivity. And VAI, intransitive, to eat, not being specific. But this one, da, nta, way, you to want me, the way, into way me in. Way me in. Is that what you had? Except you spell it with your I. So, but these are now, so I want you, one S, want, and then this one is 2S the other way, 1S, want, you to want me, and these are both VTAs. And they're both, and one's in the independent, one's in the conjunct. And by the way, so there you go. I want you to want me. This is all on that chart, by the way. So I want you, that's right here. This is me, I, way over here on this side. That's me. Want you, that's going to be this orange box. I'm not going to explain how this works right now. I have a video on this if you want to go check it out. Links in my bio. Go to my YouTube page at the link is at the bottom of my link in bio. But these are here. Kintoe mitin, you want me. I want you to want me. I want you. Kintoe mitin tentoe me in. Tentoe me in, and that's this one here. Tentoe me in. Yeah. But that's grammar. That's basically understanding when we do all of these, right? When we do all of these endings, what does that mean? What does that ending mean? Right? What does this ending mean? Why is it sit? What if it was me? What if it was you? Once you get into the verbs, stamawat. Why wasn't it stamagut? Why wasn't it stamawak, stamawat, stamask? There's all those different ways that you can say that, and they mean different things. And if you want to get to a place of speaking and fluency and understanding and that kind of stuff, you kind of need to know them. Like, you don't have to learn it this way. I'm sure there's other ways you can learn them. But if you get into it this way and just dive into this and start working on it, your ability to use the language will accelerate in my opinion, in my experience. Yeah, we're pushing 3 hours. It's pretty good. 3 hours went by pretty fast. Asai mi nakakiko kitam skat nawaw, kananaskum tinawaw. Ay mitnin so squats miwitaman. Anut say at umamuta atsumuane ato epimato skatama. There, that was for Neil. Kap matoskatama kapm. Sogatoskatama kutaya miwasin uma. Miwasin atsumuan miwasin mina epem giugatoyak epem uitapimtoyak ta atoskiakuma umamuta atsumuan. Ego kutaga atsumuana eayayak aya egota YouTube mina gotaga ta atoskatama utenigan. Ego could tell my brain is full. I'm struggling with language right now. Maga isay mina naskamoyan. Anutska kagisagag. Niels. Bimwestas. Bimawas. Mitnimiasin. I want to thank everybody that came out tonight to work on this. We're going to be doing this again every Sunday. We work on these. And we're almost 52 minutes into this story. We've got 10 minutes left of this story, and then we'll grab the next one and we'll just keep going. And yeah, this is a good way to pick up a lot of language. So I appreciate everybody that dropped by. I think I'm going to have a surprise live this week. I think it's going to be on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. I will be streaming on all of the same platforms. Hey, by the way, everybody who's on TikTok, does this format work okay? I think with YouTube and Facebook, and I'm going to try and get Twitch hooked up again. I think Facebook works okay. Does anybody do TikTok on their laptop? I don't think so. Usually on your phone, right? Hey, Christy, miyasini tagosinian. Muestas? Thanks for stopping in. Damien, Kista, Cyrus. I think we'll have a stream on Wednesday. But I just wanted to throw that chat out to the question out to the TikTok crew. If this was okay, we need to change it up. Was it easy enough to follow along? And any feedback would be great. And I think Wednesday we'll do a little bit of this, but we might do a little bit of grammar too. We'll tie back into this, a little bit more of this stuff and talk about how this works. That might be a good use of our time Wednesday. So I think we're going to leave it there tonight. I can smell supper. So ganto mitsunia usam mitne so squats no take tean e pim no take tean. We'll get that right one of these days. Okay, we're going to leave it there tonight. Thanks everybody for stopping in. We're going to kill the stream there tonight. And once again, I appreciate everybody for stopping in. We will see you probably on Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll catch you all on Sunday.